Man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. It's been too long since I've been up on here with y'all. Been a couple days, a couple weeks. Sorry, I missed hanging out with my peoples. But life gets in the way. Life be lifing. And stuff needs to be done away from doing the fun things all the time. So, unfortunately, I was not able to be here for the fun stuff, but you know, we are still going to end up getting that stuff in here a little bit. So what's up to everybody? Thanks for everybody showing up tonight and chatting with your boy here. Very much appreciated. Got lots of people running the chat already, which is cool. But thanks everybody for being here. Mr. Gooniac here, as y'all know. Thank you for being patient with me and coming on when I could be on. Looks like the music keeps getting loud, which I don't appreciate. Needs to go down. But anyway, let's leave it there. Anyway, we're here. So thanks to everybody that is here, that could be someplace else, but decided to be here with me today, which is pretty dang awesome of you. So thanks to y'all. There we go. So let's just jump right into it and see who was the first person to start chatting up in there. I think it was Big Chris who started chatting at around 6 o'clock my time. What's up, Big Chris? He is here saying what's up to the peoples in the chatting room. Jeff in Laura, Alabama was here not too long after that. What's up with you, Jeff? How are you doing? Mountain RC was there as well. What's up, Mountain? And do some of that. And let's see here. So there's that. What's up with you, Mr. Mountain RC? Thank you for being here. Paul McNeil. I don't know if those of you that follow me on Facebook or not, but I posted a crap ton of stuff on Facebook. So since we're here, we'll talk about that. I'll talk about it in a little bit. I won't forget you, Paul. Mr. Craig Bevan is here as well. What's up, Craig Bevan? Howdy, howdy. Oh, that's what I'm forgetting. I can't stand it when I do that. That needs to be there. Hello. Okay. That should have been up earlier. Mr. Michael Bear is here. What's up with you? I've seen several of those the jets that you fly. A bunch of them, especially during the Super Bowl. There are a lot coming in. The Falcons. So yeah, we don't see that many Falcons here, but we do see them every now and then. But whenever it's time for the Super Bowl or a big sporting event, lots of Falcons come in. So I did see quite a few, and every time I see one, I think of you. I even took a video and posted it as a short, I believe. But let's see who else. Okay, thank you for being here, Mr. Michael Bear. We've got Paul McNeil talking about that. Jeff and Alabama got to him. Got Craig Bevan. Who else? I think that might be it for now, which is all good. Thanks to all of you for being here. So it's been a little busy. Super Bowl week was pretty crazy, in a good way, not in a bad way. There was a lot of traffic and a lot of people. You know, we had a whole bunch going on here. We had Homeland Security out here in force. They had Border Patrol, 2 helicopters, and then that was Border Patrol. Border Patrol has Blackhawks. So they were here. When there's Department of Homeland Security, they were here as well. They were flying the Eurocopter. So those guys were there. So a lot of that going on. They were not showing up on radar. They were doing lots of stuff, flying around, seeing what's going on. And the good thing was we had I think this is the first time we've ever had that kind of a flyover, but we had I could pretty much just show you guys some of it. But we had a flyover with one B1, 2 F-15s, 2 F-35s, and 2 Super Hornets. And then behind that, there was another B1. So we had a lot going on. So that whole week before, we were pretty busy with practice runs, people coming in. Now, what they didn't tell you is that Lockheed Martin and a couple of those other people, which are based at Moffett, had open houses. And same thing with the 129th, they had an open house as well. So there's a lot of publicity, things that they're doing for the public and community service type deals. So they had lots of jets and stuff flying in. They had, what do they call them? The flights where they take people up that otherwise wouldn't be able to go. They took a few people up in, I forget what they call them, some kind of, not initiation, but took people up for flying. So there was cool F-18s out there. There's a cool F-35, and the 129th, which used the Pave Hawk, which is an Air Force version of the Black Hawk. They were doing stuff too. So there's lots of stuff going on. The C-130s were doing their thing. It was a busy week. And then all the other jets started coming in for the other stuff. So we had F-15s come in for their to do some touch and goes and such. Then we had the practice come, which was good. So it was just a really cool week. Let me see if maybe I can show you guys a couple, because I did post some of the shorts. There's still more coming. I will. Let's see if I can pull it up, and I'll share the screen and show you guys. That's scheduled, so I don't show you that one yet. Let's see, what did we get in here? So Paul McNeil brought up the F-15s, so why not let's just show the F-15s and see what they was doing. So I'm gonna have to share my screen first, but take a look at that. This is just gonna be kind of a rambling day. I have some RC stuff behind me too that I'll show you guys, but let's get the share screen set up. Entire screen, so it's going to look a little strange for a second, and then we're going to, not that one, go to this one. So this is one of the reels that I put out. Oops, sorry. What the hell? Get this refreshed. Put this back up. There we go. Okay, so this is the one that I put up. So anyway, hope you guys are able to see that. But that was the F-15s that I got. There's a lot of other planes that flew over. You got the F-35s. We got the F-18 Super Hornets. They flew together in a formation of 4. I could see the B-1 bombers off in the distance. So this is the thing. There were 2 B-1 bombers scheduled for the event. So they actually had 3. So 2 of them were supposed to be out there flying, and one of them was a backup, or they flew together and they're just doing some sort of loitering. They always make them training missions. So they're actually 3, and I could see them off in the distance, but I could never actually get good videos of them. So the B-1 bombers were there. Pretty sweet full afterburner climb over the stadium after the main formation went over. But very cool, very, very cool. I never get tired of jet noise, even if it's in the middle of the night at odd times. I don't care. I'll get up and watch, or I'll just sit back and enjoy it. Doesn't matter what it is. But it was a very good week. So guys, make sure to like, share, comment, subscribe to the channel. And if you click the bell, you'll be able to see every time that I post one of those reels about the planes, because I post reels about all types of aviation, RC and full scale. But the full scale is the coolest, of course, because I get it over my house. And then I was able to go a little ways down the street and get a better video. My wife got video here while she was home. So we got video from both. But anyway, lots of cool stuff happening in the skies over my house for a Super Bowl week and weekend. So I love that. And it never gets old. I mean, it doesn't matter what's coming in. I got pictures and videos of all types of planes, private jets, military jets of all nations. I've got military jets from Australia, from Austria, from the Ukraine, from the UK. So it just depends on what's coming in. I don't think I've had anything from Japan, but I have had stuff from China, but it was too far away to get pictures of. But, so yeah, and then we had all the F-15 circling, the KC-135 circling to keep the airspace clear for the event. But anyway, so I haven't really been doing a whole lot of RC, but I have been doing RC. I had a couple orders to fulfill, and got those done. But then I had wanted to get to some other stuff. Oh, and that's cool, Michael Bear. The thing that amazed me the most about the B-1 bomber is how big the thing is, but how fast it is. Oh my God, it's so fast. And I said, and this is with the wings extended. I was watching it because they had to do several passes as they're staging and getting in formation to get ready to go. But my God, I can't get over how fast they were. I was looking at the radar, and it only showed one, but I knew there were three because I could see the actual three. And they were so fast. They could accelerate so fast. They could slow down, accelerate, all that. At one point, when they were all joining up to catch up with the fighters, the B-1 got up to over almost 800 miles an hour to catch them. This is at altitude too. This isn't low, and this is over the ocean, so I know they're able to do it, and you don't have to worry about it. But pretty freaking cool plane. When I used to live out in the Central Valley, this was when Castle Air Force Base was active, because that's one of the longest runways out there. The B-52s used to be stationed at Castle, and the B-1s would come in regularly. So I was in Modesto at a this is when I was in high school. I was at Modesto at a tennis match, and I hear this really weird noise, and I look up, and there's a B-1, and it had taken off from Merced and was coming by. Wings were back, flew past, and then just did a crazy unrestricted climb. This is like over, I think, the Modesto airport. But yeah, it's amazing, number one, how big they are, but number two, how much power they have. The B-1 was probably about a mile away from us when it did that full afterburner climb for the Super Bowl. It shook everything around us, everything, and it was just the coolest thing to see. Big old bird just going straight up in the air, really cool. That's like two F-15s in one, and actually they make more power. Each engine makes more power than one F-15s. Well, each engine, I forget how much power the F-15s make per engine, but yeah, a lot. It was a lot. Very cool. So I've seen them at air shows, and I've also seen them just out, and it's really cool. I was also looking at some of the footage from the Red Flag, which is going on in Vegas. I need to go back to Vegas and just sit there at the end of the runway and watch the planes go around. But anyway, it was a good weekend. I did not watch the Super Bowl. Don't care for football. Can't stand it, actually. And I get excited when I know that there's going to be a football game at Levi's Stadium, because I know there's going to be a flyover. So that's the only reason I get hyped. I could care less about everything else. And yes, Michael Bear, you are very right. And I don't think the B-1 ever made it into service. They ended up switching it to the B-1B because the B-1 ended up giving them a lot more problems with having to go as fast as they wanted it to go. So they changed it and made it the B-1B. They ended up changing it to more of a not so much of a crazy high supersonic plane, but one that could go supersonic, but not as fast as they wanted it to go originally. They had to change some designs on it, from what I remember. And yeah, I watched a whole Wings documentary on that, and the whole series, it was like a week long on the B-1. B-1's a cool plane. Even at the age that it is now, it's still technologically advanced for what it is. And check this out. We got Mr. Urban Legend RC. I'm so glad you're here, my friend. Thank you for being here. And as always, he says, West, y'all. But as he says, he is as far east as you can go. So anything to him is west. So what's up with you, Ty? How you doing, buddy? Thank you for being up in here. Had me cracking up the other day. He called me freaking... It's actually kind of funny. I do appreciate it, though, because it is flattering at the same time. He called me Tony Stark. He said I remind him of Tony Stark because of all the stuff that I do with these planes. So hey, I appreciate it. I see that as a compliment. So I thank you very much, Mr. Urban Legend RC, aka Ty. So my co-pilot did most of the air shows after his tours. Oh, cool. Very cool to see that, Michael Bear. So yeah, it's a cool plane. So if your dad worked on the B-1s back in the 70s, it had to be one of the very first B-1s that didn't actually make it to service. That is very cool. Very, very cool. We never, ever see them here. We used to, like I said, because when I lived in the Central Valley, we'd see them because of that. They'd come do touch and goes and landings and stuff at Castle Air Force Base when it was an Air Force Base. But yeah, very cool. But so I figured I'd just talk a little bit about RC. Also, Ty, I posted a video. I did a premiere before this. I didn't really set up the premiere, but I did a premiere before this. So my latest video that I posted, take a look at that when you get a chance, Mr. Urban Legends RC, because it's about the planes that I fly for trainers, and I gave a little bit of info, and that's another one where I catch the plane too. So it's cool to see. But anyway, so like I said, I still have been doing some RC stuff. It's just been in the background. So I haven't really been able to do a whole lot. The way that our living room is set up now, I can't set up a soldering table or anything in the living room like I used to do, which is fine. But it limits what I'm able to do during the week when people are here. So I usually have to set up outside. And we ended up getting rain and a whole bunch of other stuff and just weird weather in general. So I'll show you what I was going to do. So I'd been planning to do this for a while. I've got some new batteries. And these are actually, this is a 4000, but this is 8S. This is an 8S pack. So comes with the leads that are bare, so you can add what you want. But I have some EC5s that I've got to put on here. But this is a Liperi Air 4000, and it is an 8S. What's the C rating on this? 80C? Yeah, it's an 80C. And I know that it will do every bit of that because the 6000s that I have, really good. I have 7S 6000s. So that's one. So this is a 6000. This is also 8S. But notice how much bigger that is compared to this. This is an 8S. See that? This is a 6000 8S. So they're both the same voltage, but this is higher capacity. Check that thing out. So anyway, this is the one that needs to be done next. This will be probably going in the 6000. What can I fit in? I could fit this in the Viper jet, but I have lots of 8S, a couple of 8S planes. I think this might fit in the Eurofighter, but I think the 4000 would be better for the Eurofighter. And then that's one. Now this is another one. Ty has been posting stuff about the Hobby King sales, but this is another 4000 that I planned on using in that I plan up in using in something. It just depends. But another 8S. Hobby King has been killing it with these deals as of late. I got this really cheap, but they're good batteries. It's definitely heavier than the Liperi, but I know these are good packs. I use these packs quite a bit when I first got started with EDFs, well, bigger EDFs. I use the 5000, 5200, 6200. They've been great. So this is going to be for my Viper jet that I've converted to 8S. So, and I have some 7S packs that are made by Liperi, these guys. But then I also have something that I actually did here on the channel. This is the 64 millimeter in-runner fan that I balanced on the show. And I have been meaning to do this. I have this plane sitting in my storage. It needs to be done. 64 millimeter L39. I just need to convert this and the ESC, and we are good to go. But good sounding fan, very good sounding fan. And then I've got another. So how do I put this? I've been meaning to do this for a while. I have the F-15, the Freewing F-15 is by far one of my favorite birds. It's also one of the oldest. Now, the downside to it is that it's old, but I ended up breathing some new life into it with servos and some new tail surfaces and other stuff like that. But let's see here. So it's been a workhorse because I did a lot of experimenting with motor setups and stuff like that. From what I found out is that and I found this out from one of my customers actually for burners, that the best setup for it is taking the nozzles from the 90mm F18 and putting it on the F15. Because these nozzles that come on the plane are actually what the plane's nozzles are doing at idle. So they're way too big. It looks scale, it looks cool, it's really detailed, but who wants to have a plane that flies like it's at idle? So I'm going to be working with these to make them be more like what the plane would be like if it was actually in cruise mode, which is going to be a lot smaller. If you had full afterburner, that's great, but doesn't work like that with regular EDFs. Afterburners create a lot of thrust that way, but we are not going to do the same thing with an EDF. So I've got a few sets of these. I'm going to do some work. I'm going to do some, as Ty would say, I'm going to do some Tony Starkin with these to make them do what I would like for them to do, so that you don't have to actually spend any money to either get a 3D printed thing. I don't even know if the people 3D print these things, but I'm going to try to do something with what we have here, and I know I can do it. I've done it with other planes. This is a different type of plastic, but that doesn't mean it can't be done. So I'm going to innovate with these things and make something else. I think that might be all I've got out to show off. Only other thing that I need to do with some of my stuff is go through and do some programming on ESC so you guys can see that. But that's pretty much it. Let's see. So somebody else. So you guys are talking, which is good. I see that. So Big Chris, man, you work too much, bro. Take some time off. But thanks for being here for however long you can. That's great. I appreciate you being here, and don't work too hard, bro. So then Mr. Urban Legends is still there talking to people. Good to see him on here. Paul McNeil. RC. Oh, Victor made it too. What's up, Victor? So he's Paul McNeil was flying the F-16 a lot. I flew that plane so much. I ended up giving away the first airframe that I had. I just gave it away not too long ago. But I am going to get another FMS. FMS F-16. That is by far, in my opinion, probably one of the best. I mean, I know they have the E-Flight F-16 as well, but the E-Flight's not painted. It's just bare. Granted, you can get the AS3X and all that goodness. I understand. But I like the FMS because it's got the paint on it. Believe it or not, the paint makes it a little bit faster because foam is draggy. But it's fast. It is really fast. It's got that 30mm motor in there. But the 4000, that thing rips. The 3300, it can rip too. But flew mine with the 4000. So let's see. So Craig Bevan, you're right. The inserts could work, but from what I've seen in person, I had a friend at one of the fields that I fly at. He's heavy into 3D printing. He actually printed his own nozzles, and then he printed the inserts. I showed up with my F-18 nozzles, and it blew him away. And when I say that, I'm not saying that I was I'm saying when he watched, he was just sitting there watching with his mouth open the whole time because it was way faster. The inserts are good. They do change the way it flies, but the actual F-18 nozzles transform everything. So I have it on the FMS 1850 kV for 6S. I fly it on 6S and 7S, but on 6S, it flew like the plane used to fly on 8S. So it was pretty dang amazing. Let's see what's going on here. And I got Ty, I got to give you props because you were flying really good. I was watching you fly on the trainer, on your not trainer on the simulator, and I watched. You're doing really good. I don't think that me joking with you was giving you a hard time. I'm not. You're doing really good. I could see the stuff that you've been practicing. So keep doing what you're doing because you're doing a good job. That Turbo Timber is a great plane. Turbo Timber Evo, the little UMX version, they're all awesome planes. I just wish they'd come up with another plane other than the Timber because it just keep making the Timber over and over and over and over again. As much as I love it, they just need to do something else. And yes, but I'm telling you, it's a little bit more than just that, Craig Bevan. And I can't verbalize exactly what it is I'm saying. When it comes to electricity and when it comes to kind of aerodynamics, I can see the stuff in my head and see how it is that it's supposed to work. But I can't always verbalize what it is that I'm trying to say. So I usually just have to do it. And then once I do it, I can actually explain it a little bit better. But here are the F-15 nozzles, and that's how they come from the factory. Now, the way that they're set up, they have foam that comes in right there, and it cleans everything up. It's like a super clean. This light's too bright. Let's put that down a little bit. So it's a super bright, super clean transition from the foam into the plastic. It says whenever you have fast-moving air, like for an EDF or for any type of anything, you want the air to be able to get through there cleanly with no, even this little bit of a lip right here, or even that little bit of a lip right here will slow things down. So the way that they have it set from free wing, this lip seats up perfectly with a little piece with the foam, and it's just perfectly clean through here. So that leaves room for improvement, and this can be improved upon. So I'm going to improve upon it, and once I get it done, I'm gonna show y'all, and y'all be able to do it without having to buy more pieces. I mean, if you want to buy parts, you'll be able to, but there's ways to do it with what you got here. So anyway, I'm going to work on that, and let's see who else is. I think Kenny might have just showed up. But let's get the light back up a little bit. So let's see what's going up in here. So yeah, as I was saying, Craig Bevan, you can use caps, but there are other ways to do it, and I do plan on doing that. Mr. Hangar 51, what is up with you, Mr. Kenny? Hey, what's happening, dude? How you doing? So I still have a couple more planes here on my, they're currently residing on my balcony just because I want to make sure they're where I can see them and out of the weather. But I still have two planes, my big MiG 17, the 90 millimeter MiG 17, and then the 64 millimeter, which will be 70 F-35. So those are next on my list. My P-47, I had to order new parts. Those parts are now sitting in the mailbox. I need to go get those. But my P-47 is pretty much done once those tail surfaces are there, and then I can just hook it up to a receiver, and then we'll be ready for our maiden. Might have to trim that spar a little bit because I have one spar that seems like it's just a little bit too long. There's two spars on that plane. But so I'm still doing RC. I might still have a few more videos to post from my RC flying from the last couple weeks. But so yeah. Paul McNeil, yeah, tape works. Problem is over time tape ends up popping up and gets in the airstream. Makes a funny noise and slows the plane down. So I've got ways to do things, and I will show you guys how to do those things. And the thing about me is I like doing things as simple as possible, but as effective as possible, which usually doesn't require any extra money out of your pocket. Just a little bit of ingenuity and a little bit of time, and you should be able to do it. So we'll get down to that. But in the meantime, we are going to get back to posting some more videos of other stuff. I've got some more things coming up. So I have all those Super Bowl flyover videos that will be posted. I have a few more Sky Surfer planes, plane videos to post, and then we'll also have, some more how-to stuff. I think I'm going to start with the F-15 as far as how-tos go. Everybody wants to do something that requires you having to buy something. So I'm trying to show you that you don't always have to buy something to get things done the way you want. Just got to be resourceful. And I can be resourceful at things. So I also wanted to throw out another idea, another format too. So I know Urban Legends is on here, but there are a few different people that are here. I'd like to spend more time actually having more than just me and my goofy looking face on here. So I'd like to get some more people that are cool with being on this format, and then also cool with showing what they do and how they do things. So possibly having some, more than one person on the stream at one time to try to help break it up a little bit, and possibly have it so that we can bounce off of each other. Have a little back and forth, a little whatever. So Ty, if you're Urban Legends, if you're still on here, if you ever get a chance one of these days, we can connect and do that, so that we can have a little questions in person or talk, whatever. Just mix it up a little bit. I used to be on here with Nate a lot. Nate I'll have to talk to him too, because maybe I'll have him on a couple times too. But we used to be on this live thing together all the time. But maybe I'll see if he might be able to come back. But I want to mix up a couple people and have a few different people on the channel with me, so that we can talk some RC and talk with different types of RC, because I know Ty is mainly into RC cars. And then I'm into airplanes, so then we can talk back and forth about that stuff. And then other people, we all have different experience. We all have had different experiences with the hobby. Sorry for shaking. And nothing wrong with us all talking to each other and letting people know what we know and answer questions and all that sort of thing. So sounds good, Ty. Let's do that. I'll make sure to reach out to you before so that we can connect. But believe it or not, I've been in this hobby for over 40 years, and I am not tired of it. I'm not bored of it. I'm very cool with it. I like the way things have evolved. I have some qualms with some things, but for the most part, I'm still excited about this hobby. I was actually just thinking about, how everybody are buying these vans to live in since everything's so expensive. I'm thinking about possibly getting a van to set up as like a rolling RC museum type thing. Not museum, but hands-on thing with RC. My club has gotten really cool stuff going on lately. One of the kids I used to fly with, he and his dad donated some computers. So we've got these containers, like they call them sea trains, but they're actually old trailers that they use, what they use to shipping containers. And they have 4 different simulators set up in that. So when we have people come by that want to learn how to fly, hey, boom, we put them up on the sims and they go fly in there. So, it's stuff like that. So, and it's not very hard to get, have either a trailer or a van with something in it, just to set up a computer or something simple. So that we can show people what it is about this hobby that we like so much. So it can be done. So there's lots of things to, I've done air shows. I did air shows for probably about 10 years. And got a little tired of it. So didn't do it the last couple of years. And then with all this stuff going on with the FAA and whatever, I figured that was probably about it for that. So still thinking about doing some things to either innovate or help get other people into this hobby and trying to get them to get into it the right way. One of the main things that I want to talk to people about, especially people getting started in the hobby, is that everybody's so quick to start flying with gyros instead of learning the basics and then mixing in gyros. So I know that there's people that are into just maxing out everything with all these different forms of fly-by-wire type stuff that changes with exponential with the throttle, and that's all great and good. But when you think about it, even the pilots that fly F-22s, the first thing that they start with is a Cessna 152 or 150. And with the 150, there is nothing that does anything for you. You've got to do it all. So they have to learn how to master that plane before they step up to the next plane. And then after that plane, they step into the next plane. And the further they go up, the more automated they get. So, but they've had to start with those planes that were not automated. So I'm wanting to show people that you need to learn the basics before you start getting into the crazy onto all that automation. There's nothing wrong with the automation. There's nothing wrong with safe. Safe is great, but it's a tool. Don't use it too soon. You need to know how to do things on your own. You want to get a plane flying great without a gyro, and where you can do what you need to do without a gyro. Then when you add that gyro in, everything is just going to be so much better because you already know the basics. Now, if something goes wrong, which has happened, it's happened to me. I've had things go bad mid-flight with gyros. I've had a gyro come loose several times. You've got to know how, if that gyro is not working, click a switch, and then you got to fly. And if that plane was not set up to fly right, you're not going to know what to do. So it's best to learn all the basics. As much as it depends on where you are, Michael Bear. There are still a lot of kids into this, younger kids. I'm 50 now, going to be 51. But everywhere I go, even the fields, there's always kids that come around. I think what helps the most is having the sims. Simulators help a lot because it's something that they're used to. They can grasp onto that. And then once they learn the basics and learn how to fly things, then it just goes crazy from there. So it's different. You have to know how to reach kids at their level. For some reason, I've always been good at that. But you have to. Not everybody's going to be into it the way that we were. You just have to know that it's going to be different. My kids know how to fly RC. They actually flew the simulators all the time. They used to figure out how to rip the wings off of the MiG-15 and see how long they could fly it around just with the tail. So there's things about this hobby that we may not understand, but the kids, they understand it and they like it. So got to let them do what they do. So, and you're exactly right, Ty. So, and I mix it up. So you're very right. Especially flying the sim, you want to get that little bit of fear to make it so that people know how to control their emotions when they're flying. So you want people to realize that something goes wrong. You don't just freak out and freeze. You got to figure out how to do it. But we used to do these events called Flight Night, and that same plane that I use in those videos, the Wing Surfer, I would set up with a trainer, and there'd be people that would just randomly walk up. They had a line. You'd randomly walk up. You don't even know these people, and you'd set it up so that they could fly with you, and they'd know nothing about airplanes. But I've been able to get a few people to learn. I had a few people that were just naturals, and that way they start to figure things out pretty quickly. But sims are really easy, not really easy, but really good to learn how to do that. Learn how to fly these things a little bit better. So it's good. But I agree. Safe is a good tool. And I've used safe teaching people. So not everybody can learn things the same way. So you got to go at people's at whatever pace people are doing. Safe is good for people that have a really hard time with cross controls when things are coming at you, the left and right when things are coming at you. Safe works really good for that. Safe works really good for people that panic. Safe works good for easing people into learning how to make smooth turns. So safe is good. It's got its place. I just don't want people to learn how to fly on safe on their own because it's just, yeah, it's just bad. Sorry to hear that, Michael Bear. And the reason why I was doing all those air shows is because I wanted people to realize that it's not just an old man hobby. I did the air shows with the kids because I wanted everybody to see that the old guys and the young kids and in between, everybody flies. It's not just about one demographic. So that's why I did what I did. But it got tiring. And now that I have FAA and they changed something in the airports, their frequencies, so it started messing with stuff that's that people are using now. People using it far sky was getting interfered with at airports now. So I don't do those air shows at airports anymore, just because of that. But I did it for a long time, and it actually did really good, and I got quite a few people into it. Our field's out in the country too, but we still get people to come out there. So it's just a matter of like community outreach. We try to do community outreach too, and they do that at the airports to get people to come in too. But I do agree with Ty, especially about that. Once you get the hang of it, especially certain airplanes. So like I said, regardless of what the airplane is, if you have a bad time with getting overly anxious or just freezing and freaking out, having that panic button for safe, boom, where it just holds it and puts it in a holding pattern, that's perfect. But you need to have an instructor there with you to show you how to do all that stuff. Whoever that is. What's up, Mr. RC Roland? How you doing, buddy? Thank you for being here. Maybe there even needs to be this where I have like a training session thing on here where I just show people the basics, and then if everybody wants to fly, they can do that. If we have a mission or something we're supposed to do, we can do that. Whatever. I tried to get to the RC stuff on Mondays, but Monday's just a weird day for me. I can never really get online. But anyway, that's pretty much all the blabbing I'm going to do today. This dang thing, I forgot it. My RC speedo thermometer. So next time I fly, I'm going to have this because my freaking Hawk, that thing was screaming when I flew it the last time. I just don't know what it was doing because I left this here. I should have had it with me. I could have given you guys an actual real speed. And GPS isn't always totally on, but GPS is pretty good. But that new Hawk, oh my God, that thing rips. I had a pass that was so fast that the guy thought that I'd sped it up. And no, I had not. I just was flying so close till it looked like it was going so fast. Easily like a 125 mile an hour pass, something like that. But anyway, that's pretty much it for me today. I've got a basketball game to watch, but I did want to get on and yammer with you guys. It's been a little over an hour. Well, just about an hour. By the time we're done, it'll be an hour. Yeah, Ty. Yeah, I increased the video. But that's what the guys said. That cracked me up. But yeah, I got some fast stuff. So I need my RC speedo thermometer to be able to check it out and see what kind of chastity speeds I'm getting, baby. So we're gonna have to do that on the next time I go out. I don't know when I'm gonna go out to fly next because I got to go on a rescue mission for my kid to fix his car so he can make it home. Can't do it today, or I was supposed to do it yesterday, but I couldn't because the weather took a turn, and so it's not going to be clear till tomorrow. So I'll have to go an hour and a half out to get the hub changed on my son's car so he can come home. Broke off 3 lug nuts. Don't know how, but I'm supposed to have 5. You can't hold 2 and come an hour and a half home. That ain't gonna work. So anyway, that's about it for y'all. Appreciate everybody being here, and I'm going to turn on everybody's favorite porno music before we get going, and then I'm gonna shut it off. But thanks to everybody for being here, and we will get back to it soon. But and yes, Craig Bevan, don't worry. As soon as I get that figured out, I'm gonna let everybody know. And it's going to be an easy fix. It's not going to be something that's hard. It's going to be super simple. I just need to get the diameter, check it, and then make a couple revisions, and then we'll be good to go. But anyway, that's it, y'all. Thanks for being here. Thank you for being patient with me. And before you know it, I will be doing videos at the field again. So, Ty, if you haven't seen that, you need to be here for one of these days when I go out to the field and set my camera up by the runway so y'all can see me flying. But anyway, that's it. I will check with y'all later, and thank you for being here. Thanks for all the support. See y'all the next time.